I walked into my office at 6 a.m. like I always did, coffee in hand, ready to tackle another day of building the empire I'd spent 15 years creating. The numbers on my screen didn't make sense. I blinked, rubbed my eyes, looked again. $2.3 million in debt. That wasn't there yesterday. That wasn't there last week. My company had zero debt. We were profitable, growing, thriving. My hands started shaking so bad I had to set down my coffee. This had to be a mistake, a glitch in the accounting software. It had to be. I know what you're thinking right now. Red flags everywhere, right? Trust me, I thought I had my life figured out. I thought I knew exactly who I could trust. I should probably tell you who I am first, because what happened next is going to sound absolutely insane. I'm in my early 40s, CEO of a marketing firm I built from nothing. Started in my garage with one client and a dream. 15 years of missed family dinners, maxed credit cards, sleepless nights. But I did it. Built something real. Something worth $8 million. Ryan, my husband of 12 years, had been a stay-at-home dad for the last 8. Took care of our 2 kids while I grew the business. He seemed so supportive, so proud. He'd bring me dinner at the office when I worked late. Tell everyone at parties how amazing I was. I trusted him with everything. Our home, our children, my life. I had no idea he was studying bankruptcy law in his spare time. I called Ryan immediately. My voice cracked when he answered. Honey, something's wrong with the company accounts. Really wrong. What do you mean? He sounded concerned. Perfectly concerned. God. He was good. There's over $2 million in debt showing up. I don't understand where it came from. Silence. Then, oh no. Scarlett, we need to handle this carefully. Let me call Patricia. She'll know what to do. Patricia, my lawyer, the woman I'd trusted with every contract, every legal document, every business decision for the past 3 years, the woman who I thought was protecting everything I'd built, the woman who was sleeping with my husband. But I didn't know that yet. The emergency board meeting was a nightmare. My investors sat around the table with faces like stone. My CFO kept glancing at me like I'd lost my mind. The debt was real. Somehow, impossibly, it was real. We need to discuss damage control, one board member said. His voice was careful. Too careful. Clients are already asking questions. My phone kept buzzing, panicked emails from customers, my biggest contract threatening to pull out. Everything I'd built was crumbling in real time, and I couldn't even understand why. Patricia arrived an hour later. She sat beside me, touched my arm gently. Scarlett, I've reviewed everything. This is complicated. How did this happen? My throat was so tight I could barely speak. The signatures are yours, the loan documents, the transfer authorizations, all properly executed. She looked at me with such sympathy, such perfectly practiced sympathy. I hate to say this, but we might need to consider bankruptcy protection. The room started spinning. Bankruptcy? Patricia, I didn't sign anything. I didn't take out any loans. I know this is difficult to accept. Her hand squeezed mine. Like a friend. Like someone who cared. But the evidence is clear. We'll fight this, obviously, but you need to prepare yourself. That afternoon, the bank froze all business accounts. I couldn't make payroll, couldn't pay rent. My assistant, Hermione, sat in my office while I ugly cried into my hands. I don't understand, I kept saying. I don't understand how this happened. Hermione didn't say much, just handed me tissues and made tea. I thought she was just being kind. I had no idea she was recording everything. Ryan came to the office that evening, brought the kids. They hugged me, and I tried to smile like everything was fine, like their mother wasn't watching her entire life explode. Patricia thinks we should meet tomorrow, Ryan said. All 3 of us. Figure out next steps. Okay. I was numb, beyond numb. He kissed my forehead. We'll get through this. I love you. I believed him. That night I couldn't sleep. Hermione had texted me. Need to show you something. Come to the office at midnight. Don't tell anyone. I should have been suspicious. Instead, I was desperate. I drove to the office in my pajamas, hands gripping the steering wheel so tight my knuckles were white. Hermione was waiting in the conference room, her laptop open, security footage playing on the screen. "I need you to watch this," she said quietly. "And I need you to not scream." The footage showed the lobby of the Ritz-Carlton, timestamp from 3 days ago. I watched my husband walk through the revolving door, watched him cross to the elevator, watched Patricia meet him there, watched her press against him, watched them kiss like they'd done it 1,000 times before. My blood turned to ice. "There's more," Hermione said. She clicked to different footage. My office. After hours. Ryan at my computer. Patricia standing behind him, pointing at the screen. Both of them laughing about something. The forensic accountant's preliminary report came back. Hermione's voice was steady, professional. "The debt is fabricated, created through shell companies. Your signature was forged on every document." I couldn't breathe, couldn't think. "How long have you known?" "I've suspected for 6 months, been gathering evidence. I'll explain everything, but right now..." My phone rang. Ryan. At midnight. "Don't answer it," Hermione said. I answered anyway. "Hello?" "Scarlett." His voice was different, cold. "I've filed for divorce. I'm citing your unstable behavior and the stress from your failing business. I'm also filing for emergency custody of the kids." "What?" "You're having a mental breakdown, sweetheart. Everyone can see it. You're not fit to parent right now. Patricia thinks..." "Patricia!" I laughed. Actually laughed. Hermione's eyes widened. "Your girlfriend, Patricia?" Silence. Then, "I don't know what you think you know, but..." "The Ritz-Carlton, 3 days ago. You kissed her in the lobby, Ryan. You're not even good at hiding it. You're paranoid. This is exactly what I'm talking about. The judge will see the security footage, both of you in my office, both of you forging my signature, both of you destroying my company." More silence. Then he hung up. Hermione pulled up another document on her screen. An email. Anonymous sender. Subject line, "She's done this before." "Patricia ran this exact scheme twice before," Hermione said. 2 other female entrepreneurs. Same pattern. Affair with the husband. Fabricate debt. Force bankruptcy. Buy the company for pennies. Resell for millions. My chest felt hollow. "How did you find this?" "I'm not just your assistant, Scarlett. I have an MBA from Wharton. I've actually been your business partner for 4 months. You just didn't know it yet. If you've ever had someone you trusted completely betray you, you know this feeling. Like the ground disappeared. Like everything you believed about your life was a lie." That's where I was. Sitting in my office at midnight, learning that my husband and my lawyer had spent years planning to steal everything I'd built. The custody hearing was in 48 hours. I could fight it. Or I could let them win. Let Ryan take my children while I tried to save my company. How do you choose between your kids and your life's work? How do you make that decision in 2 days? Have you ever been backed into a corner so tight you couldn't breathe, where every option feels like losing? Drop a comment and tell me, what would you do? Because what I decided next changed everything. The custody hearing started at 9 a.m. I walked in wearing my most conservative suit, no makeup, hair in a messy bun. I looked exactly like what Ryan wanted me to look like, a woman having a breakdown. Patricia was there. Of course she was, sitting at Ryan's table as his divorce attorney. The conflict of interest was so obvious it hurt. But the judge was her college roommate. I found that out later. I played my part perfectly. Cried softly when Ryan's lawyer talked about my instability, nodded when they suggested I needed time to recover from my business stress. Let them think they were winning. The whole hearing was recorded, every word, every tear, every lie Ryan told about me. When it was over, Ryan actually smiled at me. "This is for the best, Scarlett. You'll see." I wanted to rip his face off. Instead, I whispered, "I hope you're right." Hermione was waiting in the parking garage. She handed me her phone. "While you were in there, I was working." The screen showed incorporation documents, a new company, formed 4 months ago. My signature, My real signature, making Hermione a 50-50 partner. You've been planning this? I stared at her. You hired me 8 months ago because you said you needed someone you could trust. Hermione smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. I'm Wharton MBA, remember? I specialized in corporate forensics. When you told me about Ryan's sudden interest in business law, about Patricia's constant suggestions to restructure debt, I knew something was wrong. What did you do? I installed hidden cameras in the office, monitored every transaction, built a parallel company structure just in case. She pulled up another video on her phone. This one's my favorite. The footage showed Patricia and Ryan in my office. Must have been late at night. They were drinking champagne. The stupid bitch actually thinks we're in debt, Patricia said, laughing. She's so desperate to save her little company, she'll sign anything I put in front of her. Ryan kissed her neck. How long until we can buy her out? Bankruptcy filing goes through in 6 weeks. We offer $500,000 for the company. Our buyers already lined up for $8 million. We split $4 million each, and Scarlett gets to watch everything she built become ours. They clinked glasses. My hands were shaking so bad I almost dropped the phone. They planned this for years. Longer, Hermione said. I found Patricia's previous victims. Want to meet them? The first woman's name was Grace. She owned a tech startup. Patricia had been her lawyer, too. Patricia had an affair with Grace's husband. Same fabricated debt. Same bankruptcy scheme. Grace lost everything. The company sold for $300,000, resold a week later for $6 million. The second woman was Rebecca, commercial real estate developer. Same lawyer, same affair, same scheme. Lost her business and her marriage in the same month. They're willing to testify, Hermione said. But we need to move fast. Patricia filed a motion to force the company sale. It's scheduled for next week. Anyone who's been through betrayal knows. It's not just about what they did. It's about realizing everything was a lie. Every smile, every "I love you." Every time Ryan told me he was proud of me, he was really just figuring out how to steal from me. The bank insider came forward 3 days later. Young guy, looked absolutely terrified. Patricia dated me for 6 weeks last year, he admitted. She asked questions about your accounts. I thought she was just interested in my work. I didn't realize she was using me. He'd given her access codes, account information, everything she needed to create fake transactions that looked legitimate. Meanwhile, Ryan was playing devoted father on Facebook, posted pictures of himself making pancakes for the kids, videos of him at soccer practice. His caption, "Being a full-time dad isn't easy, but someone has to be there for them." The comments were brutal. "So glad they're with you. She seems unstable." "A real man steps up when his wife can't handle things." "You're such a good father. She doesn't deserve you." I wanted to scream. Instead, I screenshotted everything. Evidence. Hermione's forensic team worked 18-hour days. They traced every fake transaction back to Patricia's shell companies, 3 different LLCs, all registered to addresses that didn't exist, all signed with my forged signature. "The sophistication is impressive," one forensic accountant told me. "Whoever did this knew exactly what they were doing." This wasn't amateur hour. Patricia had done this before, twice. She'd perfected her system. I almost missed it. Buried in Ryan's browser history, searches for "how to move money offshore without detection" and "countries without extradition for financial crimes." He'd set up accounts in the Cayman Islands, started transferring money 6 months ago. "Wait," Hermione said, pulling up bank records. "Look at who controls these accounts." Patricia's name, not Ryan's. Patricia controlled every account he thought was his. She's playing him, I realized. He thinks they're splitting everything 50-50. Hermione grinned. "Check out the LLC ownership documents." The documents showed Patricia owned 80% of the shell companies. Ryan owned nothing. He was signing papers he didn't understand, thinking he was getting rich. Really. He was just her patsy. The useful idiot with access to me. That night, I sat in my empty house and laughed until I cried. He thought he was so smart. thought he'd found the perfect partner to help him steal my life. Instead, she was stealing from both of us. The company liquidation was scheduled for the following Tuesday. Patricia's motion had been approved by her roommate judge. Everything I'd built would be auctioned off. She and Ryan would buy it for $500,000. Their mystery buyer would hand them $8 million 2 weeks later, except we'd been busy too. I spent the next week acting medicated and defeated, shuffled around the office like a ghost, let employees see me crying in the bathroom, let Ryan think he'd broken me completely. Meanwhile, Hermione and I worked in secret, called every major client, showed them the evidence, explained what was happening. "We have a new company," I told them. "Same team, same quality, different name. We can transfer your contracts this week if you're willing." They were willing, every single one of them. By the time the judge's order for evaluation came through, something interesting had happened. The judge, a new one, after an anonymous tip about conflict of interest got the roommate recused, ordered a full company assessment. The assessment showed something Patricia and Ryan hadn't planned for. The company was worthless. No contracts, no revenue for 90 days. Just an empty shell with my name on it. All our clients had moved to the new company. Legally, properly, with full documentation. Liquidation day arrived. Patricia and Ryan sat in the courthouse conference room looking confident. He'd worn his best suit. She'd worn red lipstick, her power color. They had no idea what was coming. Will they figure it out before it's too late? Or are they about to get exactly what they deserve? Let me know if you want to hear how this ends, because watching their faces when the truth hit, that was worth everything they put me through. The buyout hearing room was packed. My entire board was there, the forensic accountants, 3 lawyers on my side. Patricia and Ryan sat at their table whispering to each other like conspirators at a heist planning meeting, because that's what they were. Thieves. Just really bad ones. Patricia stood when the judge entered. Her voice was smooth, professional, the voice of someone who'd done this before and gotten away with it. "Your Honor, we're here regarding the acquisition of Scarlett Morrison's marketing firm. Given the company's documented financial distress, my clients are prepared to offer $500,000 for immediate purchase." The judge looked at the documents. "Ms. Morrison, you're represented by—" "I am, Your Honor." My lawyer stood. An older woman named Dorothy who'd eaten lawyers like Patricia for breakfast for 30 years. "And we have significant concerns about this proposed sale." Ryan leaned forward. His knee bounced under the table. Nervous energy. He kept glancing at Patricia like she was going to save him, like she always saved him. She squeezed his hand. I watched her whisper, "Almost there." Looking back now, I still don't know if she meant they were almost at the finish line or almost at the trap. Maybe she knew. Maybe some part of her sensed what was coming, but she couldn't stop it. "Your Honor," Patricia said, standing again. "The company's financials speak for themselves. Ms. Morrison is in significant debt. Her business is failing. This offer is generous considering—" Dorothy interrupted. "I'd like to present updated financial statements, filed this morning." She handed documents to the clerk. The judge's eyebrows rose as he read. "According to these reports, the company generated 0 revenue in the last 90 days. Patricia smiled. "Exactly our point, Your Honor. The business has collapsed." "Which makes your $500,000 offer interesting," the judge continued. "Why would you want to buy a worthless company?" Ryan's face went pale. I watched it happen, watched him realize something was wrong. "It's not worthless," Patricia said quickly. "It has assets, intellectual property, client relationships." "Show me the client list," Dorothy said. Patricia fumbled with her papers. Her hands were shaking now, just slightly. "Well, the company maintains relationships with— there are no clients," I said quietly. Everyone turned to look at me. I'd been silent until that moment, sitting at my table like a woman who'd already lost everything, exactly what they expected. I stood up. "Your Honor, may I present evidence?" "Proceed." Hermione came through the back door. She'd been waiting. She set her laptop on the table and connected it to the courtroom's display screen. Client termination letters filled the screen. Dozens of them, all dated within the last 90 days, all properly signed. All legally transferring contracts to a new company. My new company. Ryan's chair scraped against the floor. What the hell did you do? I saved my business, I said calmly. Just not the one you were trying to steal. The next slide showed the new LLC, formed 4 months ago, 50-50 partnership between me and Hermione Davis, MBA. Patricia stood so fast her chair fell backward. Your Honor, this is fraud. Really? Dorothy smiled. Because I have something else to show you. The video started playing. Patricia and Ryan in my office. The champagne. The laughter. Patricia's voice crystal clear. The stupid bitch actually thinks we're in debt. You could hear a pin drop in that courtroom. Ryan exploded at Patricia. You said this was foolproof. You said she'd never figure it out. Shut up, you idiot, Patricia hissed. But it was too late. Their whole relationship shattered right there in public. The veneer of professional respectability cracked wide open. The video kept playing, every incriminating conversation we'd recorded. Patricia creating fake debt, Ryan forging my signature, both of them planning exactly how to steal $8 million. Your Honor, Dorothy said, I have testimony from 2 previous victims of this exact scheme. Would you like to hear it? The judge nodded, face like stone. Grace testified via video call. Then Rebecca. Same story, same lawyer, same affair and bankruptcy pattern. Patricia had done this twice before, and she'd gotten away with it because her victims were too broken to fight back. A man in the back of the courtroom stood up. I'm with the State Bar Association, he said. We've been investigating Ms. Patricia Coleman for 6 months, based on evidence provided by Ms. Morrison's team. Your Honor, I'm here to inform the court that Ms. Coleman's license to practice law has been suspended effective immediately, pending criminal charges. Patricia's face went white. Actually white? No, that's not. Ms. Coleman, you have the right to remain silent, a police officer said, moving toward her. Because anything you say can and will be. Ryan stood up. She seduced me. She planned everything. I was just what? Patricia screamed at him. Just the useful idiot who gave me access to everything? You were supposed to be smart enough to keep your mouth shut. You said we'd split everything 50-50. You stupid man. You really thought I'd share $8 million with you? Patricia laughed. Actually laughed. You were always just the tool I needed, the husband with access, the forger who did what I told him. You were never getting anything. Ryan's face crumpled. Watching him realize he'd been played just like I was played, there was something almost poetic about it. The judge banged his gavel. I've heard enough. Ms. Coleman, Mr. Morrison, you're both under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, forgery, and conspiracy to commit theft. The proposed sale is denied. Ms. Morrison retains full ownership of all legitimate business assets. 2 more officers entered the courtroom. Patricia's mask finally, completely cracked. You can't do this. I'm a lawyer. I know my rights. You were a lawyer, Dorothy corrected. Now you're just a criminal. They handcuffed her. Actually handcuffed her right there in front of everyone. Ryan, too. He was crying, begging me to help him. Please, Scarlett, I made a mistake. I didn't mean. You didn't mean to steal everything I built? I walked over to him, looked him in the eye. You didn't mean to try to take my children? You didn't mean to forge my signature and destroy my reputation? I love you, he whispered. I leaned in close. No, you don't. You never did, and that's the part that hurts most. Not what you did, but that 12 years meant nothing to you. They led him away. Patricia fought the whole time, screaming about appeals and wrongful arrest. Ryan just cried. The courtroom emptied slowly. People filed out, murmuring. Some of my board members came up to shake my hand, to apologize for doubting me. Hermione stood beside me, watching them go. How do you feel? Tired, I admitted. Really, really tired. The company's going to be fine. Better than fine. We have 15 major contracts secured. The new clients are already calling. Revenue projections for year 1 are looking at 15 million. 15 million. From ashes to 15 million in 4 months. What about Ryan and Patricia? I asked. Prosecutor says they're looking at 10 to 15 years each. The fraud was extensive, premeditated. The evidence is overwhelming. Hermione paused. Patricia's law firm is settling with Grace and Rebecca too. 12 million total. They don't want the publicity. And Ryan's offshore accounts? Frozen. Patricia controlled all of them. He won't see a dime. Hermione smiled. She really did play him perfectly. Almost have to respect the audacity. Almost. 6 months later, I sat in my new office. Corner view. Floor-to-ceiling windows. The kind of office I'd always dreamed of having. The company was thriving. Hermione was COO. We'd hired 20 new employees. Our client list had doubled. Ryan was in prison. Minimum security, but still prison. His parents had disowned him after seeing all the evidence. He'd lost custody of the kids completely. They lived with me, and after some age-appropriate explanation, they understood why their father wasn't around. Patricia was in maximum security. The state bar had disbarred her permanently. Her previous victims had testified at her trial. The jury deliberated for 3 hours. Guilty on all counts. She'd sent me one letter from prison. I'd burned it without reading it. My phone buzzed. Text from my business consultant, Marcus. We'd been dating for 2 months. He made me laugh, made me feel safe. And when I'd jokingly mentioned a prenup, he'd said, "Absolutely. Let's protect everything you've built." I was learning to trust again. Slowly, carefully, with contracts and evidence and security cameras, because I wasn't naive anymore. I'd learned the hard way that the people who claim to love you can be the same people who destroy you. But I'd also learned something else. I was stronger than I thought. Smart enough to fight back. Brave enough to risk everything to save what mattered. The empire I built wasn't based on trust. It was based on contracts, evidence, and keeping my eyes wide open. It was based on finding the right partner, someone who matched my ambition instead of trying to steal it. Hermione knocked on my door. "Client meeting in 10. "Ready when you are," I said. We walked to the conference room together. Equal partners, both of us survivors, both of us fighters. Ryan thought he could steal my life's work. Patricia thought she'd perfected the system. They both thought I was weak, trusting, easy to manipulate. They were wrong. 3 years later, the company's worth $50 million. Hermione and I are expanding internationally. Ryan got out early for good behavior. He works retail now, lives in a studio apartment, drives a 15-year-old car. Last I heard, he was dating someone new. I hope she's smarter than I was. I hope she makes him sign a prenup. Patricia's still in prison. Will be for another 7 years minimum. Sometimes I think about her sitting in that cell, knowing she lost everything because she got greedy, because she underestimated the stupid bitch she tried to rob. I'm remarried now. Marcus proposed last month. The wedding's in the fall, and yes, we signed a prenup. Both of us smiled while we did it. Because protecting what you've built isn't cynical, it's smart. The kids are doing well. They see Ryan occasionally. Supervised visits. They're in therapy, processing everything. But they're resilient, stronger than I expected. They've learned that sometimes the people who are supposed to love you don't, and that surviving that truth makes you unbreakable. Every morning, I walk into my office and remember what I almost lost, what I fought to keep, what I rebuilt from ashes, and I remember the most important lesson of all. Your empire isn't built on trust. It's built on contracts, evidence, verification, and never ever assuming someone loves you just because they say they do. To everyone who's been betrayed by someone they trusted, you're not alone. You're not weak for believing them. You're strong for surviving when they tried to destroy you. Don't let them win. Fight back. Protect what's yours. Build something so strong that their betrayal becomes just a footnote in your success story. What are you protecting today? What empire are you building? What contracts are you signing to guard the life you've created? Share this if you've ever had to fight for what was yours. Because we survivors, we stick together, and we never, ever forget that the best revenge isn't getting even. It's building something so successful that they can only watch from prison while you thrive. Now go protect your empire. You've earned it.